Today we are continuing our lesson on the ABCs of the MI6 Ninja program.
You are now watching WhoDooTV.
Welcome back to WhoDooTV. I'm Jared.
And I'm Roger.
Today we're talking about Ninjak number 2, the story by Christos Gage, art by Tomás Giorello, and Robert de la Torre, with colors by Diego Rodriguez.
In this book we also get a little short backstory of Ninja-A, and that is done by Ariel Olivetti.
So we'll be getting into this book a little bit. If you haven't read it, hit pause, come back to us, because we'll be talking a little bit about spoilers on this one. Also, if you like videos like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you like this particular video, just hit that like button for us.
Right. We also did number 1, so check out the first issue of this book. It is not to disappoint, and this one picks up pretty much right where it left off,
right.
Where we get to see Ninjak going into battle, and after D3 was shot.
Yeah, exactly. It's we kind of see how Colin King was able to survive the explosion on the house. It goes back a little bit in time and shows what he was seeing, what he noticed, what were the things that tipped him off. And then just him continuing his investigation into what happened to Ninja D.
Right, and we also get some backstory of Ninja C a little bit. What he went through initially when he was in the Ninja program, and his love interest, and his kind of just jabs that he kept getting. What either was his handler or Ninja B, it wasn't very clear on that.
Yeah, it was a little tough to see that, especially when Ninja B would have been his trainer at the time, as Ninja C was kind of the last one to be trained by a preceding ninja, or like his Neville figure. So we'll see what happens. He seems to be a bit more on the jaded side of things than some of the other ninjas.
And like you said, Colin keeps going on his investigation, and one of the biggest points he got from D3 was Madame Charade. And so he pays Madame Charade a little visit, and she's young for a little while.
Right, yeah. She tries to kind of seduce him a little bit, and then it kind of goes to crap for her. She kind of loses control of her powers, and she starts to sort of melt into an old woman. Colin points it out, and she pretty much freaks out, because that's all she's got. She is so vain about herself, and she doesn't want anybody to see who she really is. Because she's a shapeshifter,
right.
But she's not able to really hold on to that very well anymore.
And as she's losing it, she kind of slips about the Birmingham facility that Ninja D used to work for. This kind of raises some flags to Colin to investigate this Birmingham facility, and he pays that a visit, and he uncovers a little bit of untold truths about the Ninja program.
Right, and as he's just kind of coming to some conclusions in there, someone gets a drop on him. Ninja C pops up out of nowhere, and they're kind of go at it for a little bit.
Right. We get some interesting dialogue just in that one page of those two about how I'm not your enemy, you're just as much as victim as I am, and we're to be continued.
Yeah. It's kind of intense. It's kind of like, where's this going? What's happening? We're just figuring this out as much as Colin is, It's we're not given any more than what Colin's given, and it's kind of cool.
Right. One thing to note that was really cool in this story is the backstory of a ninja. We get the Ninja-A backstory. I believe it was during World War I, right?
Right.
It was kind of cool just to see another ninja story doing a mission and what that was.
Yeah. He was just kind of sent out to stop a biological weapon. Though I did kind of get a feeling it was a little bit like kind of the climax of Wonder Woman there. But, World War I, there was lots of biological warfare going on. So I guess maybe it's a story that we've, heard from real life, maybe?
Right.
That people are pulling from?
Probably said a couple times, right?
Yeah.
In many different ways. But I did like that it did an old story of an old ninja, an old mission. And I kind of hope we continue to get a little piece of that in each one of these books to kind of get a cool mission of that time period with that ninja and go from there.
Yeah, it would be great to get to know each one of them better. In the main story, we're kind of only getting to know the characters or the different ninjas as they're relevant to the story. But I could definitely see this kind of ending section, this sort of like background on the other ninjas as a great vessel to get into that, to get into who were they as a person, rather than, you know, Ninja A, he was the first of the, you know, the Britain ninja program, and then he trained Ninja B, you know, that kind of thing, which is what we got in the first issue. Now we're kind of getting to see who he really is, and I mean, it's kind of neat. He was just kind of sitting in the shadows. One guy was going off about how Japan sucks and how can we trust the Japanese, and he's like, isn't the ninja supposed to be here anyways? And he kind of comes out the shadows and he's like, I've been here the whole time. And he's like, oops, gotcha. My bad.
I mean, again, this is a great story that Christos Gage presents us in a very smooth transition from period to period on the different timelines. That first couple pages with Robert Della Torre really had a cool setting. It was really fitting for Ninja C, with him coming up, trying to be with the barmaid, and that she vanishes. And it kind of gives us this alluding to... MI6 took her, maybe. I don't know. There's speculation there. Like, how did she? Why all of a sudden she gone? They seem like it was pretty out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, it could easily be something in which MI6 is trying to control C in a way of wanting him not to be distracted by some pretty barmaid. And I think we're starting to kind of get a feeling of why C is going after this program so hard. Because it's pretty much just come out. He's the one who's hunting everybody down. And in issue 2, that's kind of immediately what we get there. And if MI6 is kind of, you know, keeping the shackles on him, keeping him on the chain gang. You know, he was also the first one. It seemed like in the first issue, it alluded to he was the last one to be trained by a previous ninja. But it's possible also that half of his training was done by the Ronin as well. So it's kind of like in that moment, it was a very transitional situation for the program. So I think we're getting a lot of, you know, little pieces, little notes of why Ninja sees the way he is now.
Right. And another question, who's the Ronin? You know, I think we had that the first one. Makes you really wonder that. But I have to say I really enjoyed Giorello's art again. Page after page, they are such great panels. Each panel is great. Like they work. There's not a panel that he took off on any of this book.
Yeah, I agree. It was the first time I was introduced to Giorello was on EXO, the first arc of EXO MANOWAR, this 2017 run, and it was great. It was awesome. It worked so well for that sci-fi setting, and I was really interested to see how he was going to handle this different setting, this different place to be more of, you know, of our current time, you know, set in the real world. And yeah, there's lots of interesting sci-fi things, like Ninjak gets these awesome suits, this armor, this sweet flight suit that he's got. It's super cool. But overall, it's just like he is a natural, and he really came into this, and I think he gives a lot to this story, especially as it's more of an intrigue story than the action-packed story that EXO has. But there's still tons of action in it, and I think it's great. I think he's just a great choice for this book. Right.
And I love where he's going with it. Trying to figure out, Colin King, to figure out more of this story. Not just necessarily the who, but the why. And with this training facility that they uncover. And it really brings up a lot of questions, which is great writing. And how Colin King is so multidimensional that he's also kind of writing multidimensional, right? We are seeing that Colin does not care just about, you know, necessarily the mission, but he wants to know all of it.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to know exactly what is going on. And I think this has a great direction to it too, because as he's uncovering things and he gets confronted by Ninja C comes out of nowhere and says like, hey, I know who you are, and you're just as much of a victim of this program as I am. And I think that's definitely going to play a huge part. You know, we're going to learn a little bit more about Colin, and possibly how he got involved with MI6 and how, you know, really what the situation was on that. If there was information that was held from us beforehand, you know. So it's got a great direction. I think it's been starting out awesome. It's great. I like this story a lot. It's fun.
The one thing I didn't like about it is how we get a big bad, kind of. We get Madame Charade a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And her, basically, villainess in this story is very quick.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like it may be coming back. And then you go from there. Right now we got the big bad as Ninja-C. But who's pulling the strings?
Yeah.
I just asked that question a little bit more. Who is behind it even more than him, too? Is it just him? What else is there? And I would like to hope that it's not just Ninja-C. I hope there is some strings behind it, and hope that Ninjak gets another like a big bad.
That would be great, yeah. I don't believe Ninja-C is going to be the big bad. I hope there's something that does come out for him, almost like a Master Dark level big bad sort of thing. That would be really great. So what would you score this one? Outside
of the first story kind of staying in that real World War I piece to where it was very, in a way, common, I'm going to be giving this 4.75. So, outside art, writing, story, I loved it.
Yeah, that's great. I think the art is awesome for the present time. I think Tomás Giorello is just bringing his A game. And I love the use of Robert De La Torre's style in, backup information, background. Back in time, he did this for Rapture as well. He did the story for Babel. And it works so well, and I think it's a great choice, and I think he's such a talented artist. Story-wise, everything is just falling into place. I think their planning for the story has been great, and we're just going to get more and more puzzle pieces kind of filling out this picture. And it's I can already see that this has been something that they put a lot of time and effort and thought into. Yeah, I'm right up there. I think I'd give this one a 4.5. Yeah, I think it's a solid book.
Who do you think's behind everything? Who's pulling the strings? Where's this coming from? We'd like to hear your speculations. Put those in the comments below.
Now we're getting close up. Hey, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button below.
Stay connected with us by subscribing at YouTube. Also, connect with us at Twitter and Facebook at WhoDooTV.
Also, we'd like to thank our friends over at OutrightGeekery.com. Be sure to check them out for any nerdy news related stuff.
Thanks for watching WhoDooTV. We'll see you on our next video.